Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the forecast for April 2025 for each life path number. Before we get into the forecast, this is a general reading. If you would like your own personal numerology reading, please book some time with me. My information's in the description box below. I would love to work with you. All right, let's take a look to see what April has in store. Life path number 2, you all are going to have relationships at the forefront this month. So you could see a lot come in around your deeper connections. You're working with the vibration of the 15-6. So the emphasis is being put on relationships that are closest to your heart. So romantic relationships, partnerships, family, close friends, close-knit community, that sort of thing. Also, you could see some things come up around the home, around your home environment. And because we have the 15 energy, we're looking at some kind of change here, some kind of shift, transformation, greater clarity around some kind of situation within these connections or your home environment that needs you to take some kind of action to make some kind of change within those connections or within that environment in some way. And I say this because of that one energy that's obviously in the equation of the 15-6. So there's something where you're going to have to show up, put in the effort. You're going to have to take the initiative and sort of follow through with this change. And this is likely going to be some area that you already know needs to change, right? So it could be around a toxic relationship. It could be around, you not standing up for yourself enough, you not listening to the other person, not having the difficult conversations and figuring out a way to do that. There's a lot of potential for growth within these connections. Not only these connections, but again, also within your home environment. So there's the opportunity this month for some of you to welcome new family members in. Could be, you adopt a pet, or maybe you give birth and have children, or adopt children, or whatever it may be. Or maybe some of you are bringing in an elderly parent to care for, or someone who needs your assistance. So you could see a lot of change and transformation in the home environment, but you're going to be sort of at the forefront of this change. It can't happen without you, sort of thing. So it's like this kind of energy where, again, you might know that change needs to happen. You might know those conversations need to happen. You might know that some kind of action needs to be taken. But usually when it comes to change, we humans struggle with this. So we avoid it. We go into avoidance. We go into, victim mentality. We go into all of the things. And this energy is really going to be pushing you to find your way through it and to come up with a solution that works for, everything involved. Now, one thing that can come in because of this 15-6, the 15 highlights where there are unnecessary or unrealistic expectations or conditions. When it comes especially to love, when it comes to our connections, even with ourselves. And so this is a month for you all to possibly have some growth there as well, and to really recognize where it is that you've got expectations of potentially yourself or someone else that you're close with, that they're just not able to meet you there, right? Like, it's easy for us to see the potential in others because we don't have to move through the storyline that they have to move through, right? Like when we're talking about like seeing the potential in another person, it's often the same reason why we can't see our own potential is because we have, the past trauma and the past storylines and the self-doubt and, the storylines we create in our mind and all these things, right? We have all of these like emotions and experiences to move through to like get to that potential, to be able to see it. And so it's so much easier to be able to see the potential of another person because we don't have to move through those emotions. We don't have to move through those storylines. We can just see the divinity and the humanity within that person. But though that is beautiful, and it's something that, we probably need to do more of, we also have to be careful about not bypassing where that person is at on their journey and expecting them to be where we want them to be. And that's where the expectations come in, right? It's one thing to see someone's potential, but it's another thing to put expectations on that person to meet that potential when they're clearly not ready for that yet. They're not there. It's not part of their journey just yet. Or they still have more of their journey to go. So I do think that this is going to be a month where, you're going to be asked to look at the expectations that you put on others, to look at the conditions. I love you if, I support you if, I'll show up if, right? The conditions. To take a closer look at that and see where is it that you need to manage those expectations, because those expectations and those conditions are actually deteriorating and harming your connection and not allowing for the appropriate growth. Same thing with yourself. If you have such high expectations of yourself or such strong conditions for yourself, like I'll be happy when I lose weight, I'll be happy when I get the perfect career, I'll be happy when blah, blah, blah. Or I should be better at this than I am. Like let's say that you start taking a pottery class and your expectation is that you're going to be, world-renowned pottery creator, within a week. Obviously, those are expectations that you're not going to fulfill. And it's the saying is so true, where the higher the expectations, the greater the fall. And we all go through this. So this is just a month for you all to really take a closer look at that, because it is true also for relationships. If we have high expectations of others, it's just that much further that we have to fall when they're not capable and don't have the tools just yet to be able to meet those expectations. So this month is a really good lesson, especially in your relationships, including with yourself, to meet people where they are at and to celebrate that, right? To acknowledge that, to be okay with that. Because here's the thing, if we're not okay with where someone is at on their journey, then we're not okay with that person. And so we don't really love them. We don't really like them. We don't really, we like the potential of them, but we don't really like them. And when we're talking about the sixth energy, we're looking at those close-knit relationships, family, close friends, partners, all these things. So definitely this month, take a closer look at your expectations. And the same thing with yourself. If you have expectations or conditions on yourself and you get upset with yourself when you're not meeting those expectations, then you don't really like yourself or love yourself. And so this month could really show you where that is. And then it's up to us to do the work. I pulled an animal wisdom message for you all, and you got elk energy. And this is interesting because what I'm drawn to, the picture has he has these huge antlers. And one thing with elk is they drop their antlers every year. And usually the next year they come back bigger and stronger. And so there is like this regenerative type of energy this month for you all, where you're meant to release or let go of things that aren't working, that have served their purpose. And it will heal and regenerate into something stronger, into something better. But this month for sure, with this energy, is an opportunity to heal those closer connections, to heal something within your home environment that, has been toxic or hasn't been working. And that's going to require some kind of change. And it's going to require you to take the initiative to make that change. So I hope it's a great one. Take care, twos. Bye for now.